Welcome back to the second code demonstration class. Today we will play a simple guessing game written in C++, wherein a user will try and guess a number stored within the program. And through this code, we will learn how to write conditional statements and add loops to a C++ program. So let's begin by going through the code first. The first couple of lines should be familiar to you by now. In the first line, we are including IOStream file. IOStream file will help us with input and output operations. In the next line, we're defining the main function, wherein we're declaring two variables. The first variable will hold the number that we want the user to guess, and the second variable will hold the user's response. So the first variable again is the_number. Its type is an integer, and it's initialized with the value 3. And the second variable is guess. Its type is again an integer, and its initial value is 0. Throughout this program, we will use stdcout to print statements onto the console window, and we will use stdcin to accept users' input. Here we are printing guess a number, and we will accept the user's response and store it within the variable guess. Next, we will check whether the user guessed the number or not, and we will either print you guessed it or that you did not. To do this, we will use if-else statement. An if-else statement begins with if followed by a condition within parentheses, and then within curly braces we will write code that we want to execute when the condition is satisfied. Here we will print you guessed it when the condition is satisfied, and then we write else followed by curly braces, and within curly braces we will add code that we want to execute when the condition is not satisfied. Here we will print that's not it when the condition is not satisfied. Now let's go ahead and build and run this program. Now to build the solution, go to build and click build solution. This will start the build process. Notice the build succeeded here. So now let's go ahead and run the program. To do this, go to debug and click start without debugging. Now the program is asking us to guess a number. So let me go ahead and make an initial guess. The first number that I want to try is 10. Let's see what happens when I hit enter. Okay, this is weird. The number that we have stored within the program is 3. The number that we just guessed was 10. However, the program thinks that we made the right guess. So there seems to be a bug within our code. Now let's try and figure out where the bug is by adding a breakpoint. To add a breakpoint, you can click anywhere next to a line number. A solid red dot should appear when the breakpoint is enabled. Now let's restart the program with debugging. And let's try and debug and figure out where the bug was. Now I will input the number as 10 again. Now notice the code is now stopped executing at line 15. And I've added already two variables into the watch window. The first variable that I want to watch is the number that we want to guess. The second variable is the variable that we are storing the user's response. So currently the the_number has a value 3 and the variable guess has a value 10. Okay, so far so good. Now let's see how to execute code line by line in Visual Studio. To execute code one line at a time, you can use the step over feature, wherein when you click step over or hit F10, only a single line of code will be executed. In this case, line 15 will be executed and program will go and stop in the next line. So now let's see what happens when I click step over. Okay, now notice the program executed line 15 and it's currently waiting at line 16. And notice how also the current content of the variable guess has changed from 10 to 3. Now the reason why this happened was in the if statement, where I was supposed to write a condition within the parentheses, I wrote an assignment statement by mistake, wherein I'm assigning the current state of the variable the_number into the variable guess. So to fix this, we can add an additional equal to symbol here, wherein now this will make this into a condition where we are checking whether guess is equal to the number. So this should fix the issue. But what is important to notice here is making a simple mistake like missing an equal to symbol will not cause a compilation error or a warning. Now the reason why this is because this is valid syntax in C++, wherein you are allowed to change the state of a variable within an if condition. So paying attention to the code that we are writing is very important. Now let's recompile this program. So let's first stop debugging, go to build and rebuild solution, and let's see whether this fixed the issue. Okay, now I will try the number as 10 again, and let's see if this fixed the issue. Okay, that's good. So now the program says that we did not make the right guess. Okay, now let's rerun this code a few more times, and let's try and figure out how many guesses we need to make before we actually guess the right number. To make this a little more interesting, I've gone and changed the number that I've stored in the program, so you also can guess along with me now. Now let's try and rerun the program and input a different number. Now I will try, let's see, 18. Okay, the program says that we did not make the right guess, so let's retry this again. This time I will try, say, 1. Notice now the program again says that we did not make the right guess, so let me try a couple more times. Okay, let's try 8. 8 is still not the right guess. Let's keep continuing. Let's try 14. 14 is still not the right guess. But I hope you've realized by now that this probably could take infinitely many iterations, and we need to really be lucky to actually hit the right guess.